Hello and welcome into Sorare with Laird. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdino on Sorare. Joined today, like every Tuesday, by Harry Trades and hey, maybe Nicola and Dan also. How about that? How about that?
What a foursome that is.
For real, for real. That needs to happen. They keep trying to send other guys over. I'm like, you know what? We should get Dan and Nico for sure. Thanks everyone for coming in. We're going to talk about the AMA that Nico did, I think a couple days ago. The video came out today, and Dan actually made some comment that they had to like translate it into a bunch of languages too, because I think they do the transcript, or maybe it was the closed captions. I don't know, but a lot goes into that. So GG's to them for getting it done. Harry has notes.
I do. I've done my homework.
I didn't write a single thing down, so we're just gonna go. We're just YOLOing it this time. So firstly, thank you everybody for coming in. Anyan, Stefan, and Andreas on the podium. Congratulations to you three. Hatling in, Alex, Josh, Yippee Kaye coming in live. What's up? Aussie Sports, Sean, Mikey Baston, Gavin, Mike. Anyway, Simon, what's up? Anyway, thank you everyone for coming in. Harry, let's just get right into it.
Yep.
What did you actually think of the video?
I think it was really encouraging just to like, Dan said they had over 1,000 questions, which I don't doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they've done a good job from what I, watched in that 40 odd minutes to kind of condense them into things that like, I think resonate with the average Sorare player, whether you've, definitely OGs, but also if you've been around for, 5-6 months or, whatever the length of time is. I think they've tried to at least mention, sometimes vague, sometimes not. All the pressure points basically that we speak about on a weekly basis for whatever reason, whether they're good things or they're bad things. I think they've managed to at least mention everything that I think about it on a day-to-day basis about this game that we all love to play. I've got no problem with the the words and stuff that sometimes they use because of legal reasons, or they just haven't made their mind up yet, and that's fine. We can't expect the whole shebang to come out of this, but at the same time, there was a lot of keywords that we mentioned in this, and that's all I can really ask for from something like this. Personally, I'm sure other people might feel differently, and that's completely fine. But I thought it was good.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if you saw it. You and I are in a Discord with our good friend PSU fans too, and he was kind of commenting that they didn't really say anything or they didn't really announce anything. And I was like, this wasn't the spot for them to do it. Like, they're not going to use this instance to be like, hey, here are the prize pools for next season. And I think what the whole point of this AMA was, it was to make all of the kind of existing users make sure that they know that they're being heard. And there's a lot of feedback that people kind of provide. Some say it a lot nicer than others. And ultimately, what a lot of people just want is for Sorare to acknowledge that what they think is a problem or not. Like you just kind of want something where you're like, I don't think this is good. And Sorare to say, we hear you, this is why we did it, or we also don't think it's good, and so we're going to change it. And I think ultimately that's all this was. And it's 40 minutes. I highly recommend everyone to watch it because it's better to, I think, hear it right from Nico and Dan. Don't do that right now. Obviously, you're here to listen to us speak about it. But it's really funny because it came out and I started watching it. Shout out to Andreas who was like, hey, it's out. And I started watching it. Cool. And the first thing you said to me was something I completely missed. Right. Like you were like, oh my God. So the thing was cash in the arena. And I was like, I don't think I heard that. And you were like, it's literally like the first thing they talked about. And I opened the video and I was like, yep. I still almost don't believe it because it felt like it was part of the sales pitch where they were like, yeah, we're going to have the arena and big cash prizes and classic card utility. And it was like, wait, are those the same thing? Are those going to be the same thing? But you were just like, yes, there's cash in arena. And all right, let's go.
I think that's a nice little starting point, especially for the chat as well, because I'm not sure how this works, to be honest. Like, if there's cash, it doesn't even have to be big at this point. Like, if there's cash in the arena, I want to know how the cash gets there. Is that a funnel through us? Is that something that they put up? If they put it up, then what's the take from us, if that makes sense? Like, if they're giving,
Yeah.
what are they taking, if that makes sense? Does that mean in season arena? That's just come to my head.
Okay.
Because then that means obviously we buy the in-season cards, they put up a cash reward. I just can't see how we funnel the cash into it, because that's just daily fantasy sports, right?
That's so when you were like, yeah, it's cash in the arena, and I was like, so yeah, we're just going DFS at this point. And Jack points this out. Nico also mentions taking stuff from friends. We'll get into that actually in a little bit. So Mike said the direct quote was "small rooms, big cash prizes." Okay. Andreas thinks maybe it's something about golden arenas. I mean, we're just going to be speculating about this at some point,
sure.
Until it sounded like Dan said we should have an announcement in June, where he was like, it was some line where we make all our big announcements in, January, February, and then June, July. And it was like, okay, well, we're in early May right now. So all of this talk of like, when are we going to hear it? Like we're about a month away, apparently, at least a month. This comment here from Simon, I think, is really good. Just that it's all about the reassurance that they're taking comments on board and are aware of the issues raised. Radio silence all summer would have been frustrating. It also kind of sounded like this isn't going to be the only one.
But it felt like that when they did the other podcast, when they were sit down with like Guy and stuff.
Yeah.
Guys like that. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, no, I won't disregard it. I'm sure there will be something else maybe before then, but is there much need? Like, what have we got? We're in May. Like you said, if it comes out in June, it's less than a month, right? Yeah, well, depends what part of June, of course. Could be 8 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it's just encouraging. Yeah, I definitely echo what Simon says there.
Early June, aka June 20th.
But like the biggest thing for me, going back to like the summary of it all, is just like the fact that they, for a long time, Sorare employees weren't allowed to play the game, as far as we were aware, right? Yep. Or they could play the com or whatever. So like they couldn't emulate the feelings that a player would feel, despite like making the game, being behind the scenes or whatever. So that was like a big thing, I think, that us users definitely felt, right? Like, I don't know whether you felt that at some point during our time on this game for 4.5 years or whatever, where they just felt like a disconnect. But it doesn't seem that way anymore. It feels very much like the players and then the people behind the scenes that actually make the game and run the game or whatever, make the decisions. There's very much like we're on the same wavelength now. I would argue for a little period we weren't, because they just didn't play the game. They didn't feel the pressure points that we felt as players. That's what I felt anyway. I'm sure people in the chat did. Some might not have, but I remember that being an echoed thought throughout the community for a while. And that feels dispelled, which is great.
Yeah, I think so yes, that it was the case that they like weren't allowed to play. And I think that they had like internal contests, and even that, and that was before, we had these like 10,000 people competitions, but it was like, it's still not the same if you only have to beat 38 people instead of 3,800 people. Right. So yeah, now that they're like competing everywhere, and I believe they're allowed to play limited and rare, which really explains a whole lot about super rare and unique, but we don't need to talk about that today. The line that I thought was very interesting, because I didn't believe him, and I still don't, but I appreciate that he said it. But Nico was like, I've never been more optimistic about Sorare. And I was like, there's just no way that is true. At one point you had $680 million deposited into your account. But he does feel like, I think the overarching kind of point that they were kind of bringing up was that the game and the platform is, I apologize for using the S word, but it's sustainable. And they feel like the classic and in-season breakdown that they have, even if they don't think classic necessarily works the best it can, that the in-season competition and or in-season competitions work from a business standpoint. It seems like there are enough users who enjoy playing that game that they can comfortably go into a new season and say, yes, we're going to do this again, and people like it.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing on piggybacking on top of that I wrote down when Dan posed the question to Nico about the fact that obviously in season cards turn classic and there's an obvious decline in utility, but there's an obvious decline in price, right? Of those cards or value or whatever. And yeah, Nico basically said without putting words into his mouth, I wrote down something like, it's just not possible to keep up the value that they were on, day dot than they are on day 360 whenever the season finishes, type of thing, which we know, but like, yeah, it was just, he told us what we already know, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just the way he just said, like, there's no other company in this space that does the opposite type of thing, which I guess is true. Like, is it? I mean, I'm sure it is true. I don't really play many other games other than Footium right now. You obviously play MFL and Footium, and yeah, completely different sort of mechanisms and whatever. But yeah, he's saying it doesn't exist, so why should that rule not apply to Sorare? Which is fair. Like, I don't want to back everything he says, but that's fair enough. Like, what can we do about that?
Yeah, the other one that he mentioned that I think was, I don't want to necessarily say it was like important to come from him, but it is something that I remember him saying a long time ago, and not that we started to ignore it, but I've brought it up repeatedly that there's no, I think he actually used the term, like, there's no playbook that they can look to with the right answers. It's not like they see something that works and they're like, oh, we're going to do something different. Like, there is no blueprint to what they're doing. And so when they try new things or, add something to the game, there's no evidence that it will work. And so they obviously take a lot of time to make, consider all the sides and how it'll work within their own ecosystem, how the users are going to react to it. Like, it's a fairly humongous responsibility that they have, given how many users they have who all play the game differently and all have different opinions and all come from different, backgrounds and economic standpoints. And yeah, I mean, none of this stuff is easy. And I think the community kind of sometimes thinks it is. And the part where that kind of came to me was when they were talking about Rivals, and it was like, yeah, there were some people that liked it, but it wasn't doing what we wanted it to do, and it wasn't a like zero resource game. Like, you still have to keep maintaining that game, and to have like all of these different products, which end up kind of like competing with the product you actually want people to play, is difficult. And I literally think my favorite part of the entire show was when they were talking about the new common mode, and Dan was like, for all of the OG users who were talking about it, like, it's not for you. And he was like, I realize that's a little harsh. And I was sitting there like, yes, thank you. Like, it was like you kind of expect these things to be very like manicured and making sure that everything they say is like perfect. And he said that, and I was like, people needed to hear that. And so I literally was just like, yes.
There was another time where I envisioned you fist pumping as well. And it was, and we're rolling ahead a little bit here, but when they mentioned that like rolling locks won't be a thing because it's going to affect like family life and stuff. When Nico said that, I was like, I'm watching the French Laird talk. Like, a devil's possessed Nico here, and Laird's just laughing his head off, which, look, I just want, something that's going to, alleviate the DMP pressure. They mentioned subs, which is great. Like, I'm on camp then. I think, we both are. I think a lot of people are. If it doesn't, deter away from, the weekend stuff, I get it. But a lot of us are not free, but there is free time on the weekends. I know you want to spend it doing other things. I get it. And it was just funny when he mentioned that. I creased up, honestly.
So what I really liked about that part, though, and Simo brings this up as well, and he said the interesting takes for me were the exploring subs, but they'd implement a trade-off, which I immediately thought of as, if you want to sub 10 essence or whatever the number is, like, and being able to use a sub as almost like a crutch, when he was like, it shouldn't be a win-win. And I was like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. And I agreed with him. I was like, I actually think that because there's no way to implement some sort of mechanism that eliminates DNPs without the opportunity of a loophole where you can take advantage of it and end up getting way more than you want. yeah, put something up so that you can take advantage of this. And I mean, they didn't say what it would be,
Right.
but I immediately in my head was like, oh yeah, whatever the number is, 5, 10 essence, like, yeah, you need to use some essence if you want to use a sub.
I'm thinking more along the lines of the penalty or the take is the fact that it can't be an L15 above 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then that can't really be exploited to the degree of, one where you don't have any L15 constraints. And yeah, okay, you're not paying anything to use it, but having an L45, L15 sub in the background, and if he comes on, the penalty is that he's just not amazing. Like, he's fine, but he's better than zero. Like,
Yeah.
a lot, that type of thing. I'd hope it'd be something like that. I mean, whatever. If it's essence, it's essence. But going back to like the third bit that they mentioned, I think it wasn't really touched upon too much in depth because it didn't seem like Nico was too interested in it, and that was burning. Like, he basically said the word, like, it's not in Sorare's DNA to do that. Like, it's all about, premium IP and all this kind of, jargon, which is true. I agree. Like, there's just, I do agree to that extent. And then it got into the ceiling situation, didn't it? Where it basically got confirmed, as somebody said, Halogen says there, that the vaulting is coming to football. Obviously, they've implemented it in MLB, and I'm sure you've been playing around with that, Laird, so you know more than me. But what's your thoughts on, like, did you expect that, or is that out of the blue? Or
I was completely expecting it. I actually wasn't really like, I was expecting it to be implemented. I was not expecting them to kind of discuss it here, but I think it's a positive dynamic in the baseball game, and it allows you to do something with these worthless cards. Even though you're only doing it once, you're putting them in a vault and never seeing them again. But one of the things you brought it up before, how Nico was like, the card shouldn't have as much value at the, later. He also, and maybe I misinterpreted it, but it sounded like he kind of made this point that not every card needs to have value also. And which I believe, like, I think part of the reason, or one of the things that kind of reminded me more about this is this like stack of like physical cards I have behind me. I have literally an entire binder, and I went through the whole thing and I was like, this is worth 0. And it was hundreds of cards. And it was like, oh, this reminds me of my Sorare gallery. Like, but like, we just accumulate a lot of cards that you're not going to use in the game, whether they're rewards that you don't end up using, collection pieces. And that is part of like the physical card market. Like, if you buy packs, you are going to get cards that you don't want, that are worth nothing. And being able to put them in a vault, or like I have them in a binder here, like it's something to do, and they are contributing to to your experience in the game. And yes, it happens once, but it also kind of like cleans your gallery up a little bit, where if you feel like you have an overwhelming number of cards, well, then you just you seal a bunch in a vault, and now it's like, oh, they're not in the lineup builder, and they're not in your gallery as you're going through it. And I think it just makes a ton of sense. And I'm sure some people will be, saying, we should be getting more for it. Let me get essence for, sealing cards or whatever. But I think the way that MLB does it, which is basically allowing you to get a multiple on your reward. Now, I don't know if that's what they're going to do for football. They could, but just the idea that mechanism is coming, I think, is a positive for sure.
Yeah, it cleans galleries up. It gives us extra bits on our side of the rewards type of thing. Like, I don't see many issues with it really at all. I don't think it's the most game changing thing, because it's not. Well, it doesn't change gameplay, which is kind of a good thing, I guess. Yeah. So in theory, it is one of those probably win-win situations, because it doesn't. No one really loses, if I'm being honest, in those scenarios, depending on who you're vaulting. But you're honest, you're only going to vault rubbish cards, really, aren't you? Like,
exactly.
Be real, which is fine. Does that not devalue collection pieces? Because you're not going to vault those, are you? Unless, do they keep?
You can.
Value?
No.
Oh,
yeah, you can.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting then. So that might give a bit more. Well, definitely gives more utility, but does that give a bit more value to these collection pieces? I know they increased the price, didn't they, on the limited ones, or like the floor, or whatever. So yeah, there's something to that. I was just looking at here. They mentioned something about like Classic definitely having some sort of like permanent cat modes. That was a thing.
So I wasn't sure if that was part. Like, he had mentioned the arena with all of that. And so like, and we know that at least the first week of the arena, well, the second also is a cap mode. So I wasn't sure if that's what he meant by cap mode, but
potentially
but
for sure. Social arena thing, I think we should definitely mention that. They mentioned that a few times. I thought they're trying to bang that across was the fact that like playing against your friends in a social setting with the arena thing. It seems like they're trying to take the things they maybe didn't quite get right with rivals into the arena, right? And from a social perspective, because on paper, on the surface of things, like rivals should have worked in the pub setting in some way, or whatever, like with your friends and whatever at a bar, but obviously didn't. But the issue was there wasn't much at stake, really, was there? Now there's a stake involved. There's essence. There's whatever they're going to put in. So I can see it. I can see it working. And I think the social thing, the private leagues, basically for arenas, effectively, I think it'd be great. Like that. Like imagine our Discords. Like that'd be sick. Like 1v1s between my Discord and your Discord. That'd be funny.
it's funny you put it that way, because that's where I was going with it, sort of. But so they mentioned that you'd be able to have kind of like your own private arena. I mean, it's an idea. Who knows if they're actually going to do it. Later, when they said, I forget what the exact line was, but basically like thresholds are coming back. Yeah. And part of it was actually Dan who said it. That was like, maybe you'll be part of a group that like, if your group scores enough, you can, and you reach a threshold, you win something. And I was literally thinking, I was actually thinking of Finster. And it was like, if you're in a group with Sean and you're just like, you're the last guy, all you got to do is score, 300 points and you score 290 and just, you ruin it for your whole team. But I was thinking of it that's less of a kind of a fun community dynamic. Like, I think it's less fun to win money from your friends and more fun to gang up with your friends to win other people's money. Yeah. So like, that's money, how I kind of, and which is what you were saying, like your Discord against mine. Yeah. And, and just like, that's how you do it. You, as a like a group of people who are trying to, my God, we're doing Clash of Clans. I just realized.
We literally are, yeah. We're turning into a mobile game. Well, we're already a mobile game. It's interesting. I do think that will definitely spark up more sort of conversation and strategy and social strategy, I guess, amongst these mini communities that we're growing and whatever. That does excite me. I think there's definitely legs to that sort of thing. And then the next thing I had was flexible deadlines or the lack of them, which like we've already mentioned, we're kind of fine. Well, I'm definitely fine with them not existing. Like I'm not pro flexible deadlines. It's more the fact that I'm pro. Can we, just alleviate the MP pressure? And they did mention obviously the sub situation, which we've kind of already mentioned, haven't we? So I guess.
Did they not mention that the arena might have flexible deadlines?
They did, didn't they? Yeah, they definitely said those words. It'd be interesting.
I don't even think it'll be. I think it's late swap. I think arena will be, or
right.
You can decide if you want to enter an arena with late swap or not. That's like me. They didn't say that. That's me saying that's what I think that they could do.
Yeah.
Like if arena was all late swap all the time, I probably wouldn't play that much.
I get it. Yeah, Andrea said they did say they would have them for specials. Yeah, they did mention that, didn't they? They said they'll probably keep them maybe for the midweeks and whatever, like European comps, which I think is fine. It does make a bit of sense to do that. One thing that did they touch on?
Sorry, Scosmo asked if they touch on the nuanced separation to approach the scarcities. They didn't mention a single thing about scarcities,
and they didn't mention a thing about, not maybe it's a bit more, well, it's definitely more specific, but like cash on classic podiums, for example, like that.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, that wasn't mentioned in the classic talk, I didn't think. So there's a few little bits that maybe were missed.
Could thresholds mean hot streaks for European leagues? I feel like Dan did say something about that.
He said we're trying to move stuff over in some way, whether it's like in a streaky form or something like that.
Yeah. It sounds like they're considering a lot, and I don't know if they've made any decisions yet.
I mean, for sure. SO7, SO11, they said definitely won't be part of the core comps.
Yep.
So whether that comes in maybe as in some specials potentially. Did they really speak about like special weeklies? They didn't, did they? As far as I was aware. I'm all for like not scrapping them, like having some of them, but I just think some of them are just kind of pointless.
I think they're all dumb. Genuinely.
But do you think like the J League and stuff, like those?
No,
type
I
of,
like those. Yeah. That stuff I
yeah.
like. The top shooter and the tackle monster, whatever the hell they called it, like top tackler. I think I hate those. I just hate them.
I kind of agree, honestly.
And I feel bad because obviously they put a lot of effort in like coming up with them, but they just feel so random and gamey. Like I know we're playing a game, but it just didn't. Yeah. Scosmo, yeah, we mentioned I know you came in late, but that's basically what we said. Yeah, this wasn't the summer update. This is just Nico saying, "Hey, we hear you."
100%.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I got into was reward pools. I think.
Did they say they didn't really? They were just like, "Hey, we have them."
Yeah, it wasn't really too like the first thing I mentioned was like the beat the game thing. Like they mentioned thresholds within the reward pool, like
Right.
initially threshold is back or whatever. So yeah, well, I wonder how that actually looks. Simon obviously said it could be, the MLS thing sort of imported over in some way. We've mentioned, haven't we? Like I don't think they necessarily did mention it in exact form, but we love the idea of these like MLS, like special comps, where you get a ticket in and all that sort of stuff. I think they need to double down on that somehow.
Agreed.
They didn't really say too much, didn't they? Other than like thresholds back. Well, how is it back? What form is it back in?
Wonder if I can find the.
Can you like type it in or ask ChatGPT to be like, when do they mention thresholds? And then they'd be like, they mentioned thresholds on blah 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 blah.
No, I hear it. Yeah, it's somewhere in this.
Oh
section.
yeah.
In-season, our first season with in-season and classic structure. What have we learned in terms of our rewards experience and how we've designed them, and what are we going to take into next season?
So yeah, I think there are three big elements. Number one, our community loves the beat the game elements.
Oh, yeah,
they love something as simple as do this, get that, and that's the reason why thresholds are back, and they're going to be back in a meaningful way.
I have to cut this off because I wanted to screenshot the closed captions, but it cut off. It was like thresholds are, and then the next page was back, and I was like, I thought of everything.
In a way that is rewarding, exciting for the community, and in a way that is also like sustainable, because I know that even our community were thinking that this could not be sustainable, but there are ways to make it both exciting and sustainable, and so that's what we're gonna do.
And to add to that, essentially it's an exploration of evolution of hot streaks that is in MLS. We're exploring ways in which that hot streaks experience could include multiple leagues. It could also be more social, where you have to hit streaks with friends.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot that we could do there.
Exactly. So that's number one. Number two is that I have seen frustrations about the way we.
I think this part is like how 50th gets the same reward as 700.
Yeah.
And he didn't really answer it. He was just like, yeah, we see.
Yeah, I've got that down. 50th, yeah, in leaderboards.
Sorry, Simon. There are like 10 people who've said the same thing. And I was sitting there like, this music's kind of loud. And then like other people brought it up and I was like, all right, it's not just me.
Like, I don't mind a bit of background music on the video. Like, I do like to add that to my videos because I just do like them. But yeah, there's definitely a certain volume it needs to be at, I think. And that was maybe over the what you probably normally have.
Foreground video.
That's incredible. Well, I was going to mention something. Oh, was it mentioned about like how like tier 2s are in the tier 1 pool, or what? That wasn't mentioned, was it? That must have got asked a ton of times. I'm not having it.
700 of the 1,000 I bet was about it. Like genuinely.
There's no way that wasn't 25% of those questions. I'd be very shocked if they weren't. So yeah, if you've got one gripe with this, is the fact that obviously they get to cherry pick things, which is it's their show or whatever. But like at the same time, I can't see how that wasn't asked a ton of times.
Yeah,
They mentioned essence control in this little bit.
What does that even mean? Essence
I mean, you can like just divide your essence.
Oh, you're right.
Basically.
Well,
yeah.
experience as
no.
well. I think most of the feedback we get on rewards and prize pools is actually connected to the classic competitions, not as much in season. And so things like ceiling, things like arena, and kind of core competition structures that we're exploring will improve this rewards experience.
Great.
I'll be honest, I skipped a bit of the rival stuff. All I got was, wasn't converting.
There was no reason to listen to it.
Fair. And it was a big chunk. It was the biggest chunk of the whole thing almost, apart from,
Yeah.
one of the 3 bigger chunks anyway.
Yeah, I don't think...
Did you get the reward box, the loyalty stuff for the OGs? Did you hear about that? They were like loyalty programs, and then they were like, we're going to give like reward boxes at the start of every season to like people who did things last year or won this last year and stuff. So
yeah, I think yeah.
That's funny, Mikey.
Service said the AMA was fine, but understandably they kind of avoided the big elephant in the room right now, which is just a general lack of hype for the product. Maybe that's just more limited to the OG circle I'm in. I would argue it is more limited to the OG. Like, I think there's a pretty big correlation between your interest in the game and how long you've been here. And those who have been here the longest are the most apathetic about the game right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's true. For sure. Then it was like financial stuff, which I didn't really write anything down about. It was just like, we've got a war chest or something.
Yeah,
we got money. We can't reveal how much because it would be like anti, I don't know, sporting or something. He said like, we can't let our competitors know, basically.
It's one of my favorite things about private companies. Like, private companies don't have to tell you how much money they make. Public companies do. And every single CEO is like, I would love to tell you, but I can't. And it's like, no, you don't want to tell anybody. Just tell us you don't want to say. Like, it's okay.
That's funny.
There was a line though that a few people had sent to me that Nicolas mentioned that they had done like $100 million. That there was $100 million of like sales and transactions last year. He didn't say $100 million though, or euros or whatever. He was just like, yeah, it's like 100 million. And I was like, is that 100 million cards that like traded, or is it actual? I don't know if we have 100 million cards. That seems like, well, I don't know.
Seems like a lot.
Seems like a lot, but there are a lot of cards that exist. But when you consider if you're considering transactions, maybe there were. Josh said, what Nico did say, which was noticeable to me, was, quote, we will continue to work in the UK regardless of the outcome. I took to that mean, which infers they will comply with the UK GC requirements if must. I don't know. Do you think a rotating door is sustainable? Can they continue to recruit new users? I don't know if it's a rotating door though. I think a lot fewer people leave than come in. But I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Moso said I started playing like 1 year ago and I'm really hyped about Sorare and next season's steps. Yeah, see? What is this? Don't forget the market campaign. What was that?
They mentioned something about a marketing campaign at the end, maybe, but I don't think they went in depth on it. But
I just realized I paused this at a really poor time for Dan. Sorry, Dan. There you go. Yeah, we'll just leave Nico on for a minute. Yeah. I mean, look at this. 1,200 views already. That's good.
That's good numbers.
I'd kill for that after an hour.
I was just checking now. Yeah, they mentioned about licensing after that. It was the whole, like, they won the top leagues, definitely, you know. So, yeah, I mean, that's encouraging. So that basically means the whole of Serie A, the whole of Liga, and right? That's kind of the missing pieces of the 5, or no? Sorry, I lost you then for some reason. Can't hear you for some reason.
I think it's me. I think it was me the entire time.
Yeah, I think it was.
My fault. Yeah, I was muted. I don't know why it muted me. That's weird. Yeah, I think they kind of made it. It was kind of funny because they were like, "Yeah, the season's winding down," and then at the end, Dan was like, "Wait, but we do have some stuff in the summer. Don't think go away." I don't know. Also, after culling certain leagues, they said it about new leagues being in the pipeline. Oh, yeah. So that's Serie A and Ligue 1, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Then the whole next step thing, all I got down was like Web3 DNA. They were very much on top of the whole crypto stuff. Like he was very much batting that down, wasn't he? Like he really wants that to still be part of the the core of the platform and stuff. But like you say a lot of the time, and we have as well, like just how is that possible? How much can you mention it without people deterring from wanting to join, maybe because of those things? Again, fine balance to strike with that, I think.
Yeah, I think the most important thing about Sorare being a Web3 platform is that you can buy and sell these cards. And if all the other crypto stuff was hidden, which I think they do a really good job of at this point, like they're using, I think if you can figure out a way to use the blockchain without having to use cryptocurrency, then you've absolutely nailed it. And I think that's where they're going with it. I don't know.
Yeah, because he obviously went to that Dubai thing, didn't he, or whatever, and he's still very much in the loop with that. He mentioned the whole regulations thing, didn't he, with the UK, and he was like, "Look, first and foremost, we really don't believe we're a gambling company and stuff. We've complied with regulations and all the blah blah blah." And so it wasn't too much outside of that. There was
So I think that is probably the most important reason why they have to focus on them being a crypto company, because I feel like I'm saying the quiet part out loud. The more that they show that they're completely different than everything else, allows them to say like, no, those rules don't apply to us because we're not like that. We're this. And you don't have laws and regulations that support this, what we are, and we'll help you write those laws.
Yeah.
That's all. I also thought it was funny at the end when Nico was like, or Dan was like, "Do you have anything else?" And Nico was like, "No," and then spoke for like 3 more minutes about how he was like fully committed. And I was like, "Were you just in Dubai in some like crypto company or crypto conference or something?" But maybe it was, as Sorare. Maybe the crypto chat was to appeal to the OGs that tend to care more about the crypto stuff. They said that the podcast was for the OGs and not new users. Yeah, that was like, I like that Dan said that like or at least this one was for the existing users. I don't know necessarily as OGs, but everybody wants to hear from them.
For sure. I think it was interesting. I think if anything, it definitely gives me more confidence. Like it doesn't deter from my confidence for next season. I think that's that's probably the biggest thing I take from it. Like I don't feel like drained from listening. There's I don't. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear how the chat responded to it as well if they've watched it all. But yeah, I don't see anything but a decent amount of positivity. It's not like, oh my god, overwhelmingly like this is we're mooning, we're back. But like I feel confident. Like I feel like they're really excited. Like you can kind of like Nico. There seems to be a little spark in his eye.
I just realized I didn't even mean to do this, but that I actually paused it here on my full heart and my full passion until we get to this full vision. I think again, I wasn't expecting details for the next season, and so what the important things that I got out of it was clearly like they claim that the arena for this game week that we just had and next weekend were just like a testing ground, but they sure talked about it a lot for it just being like, if it didn't work, like they clearly have this as part of their plan. And whatever the details are about that, I don't think we need those right now, but we're not going to do late swap for main competitions. Like that hit me as you know. But it just feels like we just wanted to make sure that everything that we've been talking about, and for a lot of people, including myself, complained about over the last year or so, that they actually acknowledge that they hear us. Like, that's all. You just want to be heard. That's all.
Yeah, no, you're completely right with that. I know we mention it in every stream these days, but like, yeah, the fact that they didn't mention scarcities is a bit worrying in a way. Because surely that was asked. There's no way Scosmo didn't give 1,000 questions.
So sorry, speaking of Scosmo, his face doesn't agree with his words there. He's just speaking. That's all. I think my guess is they got 1,000 questions. 10 of them were about super rare and unique. And they were just like, oh, nobody cares. And that kind of happens because when you look at the number of users who play so rare, a very small percentage of them play super rare and unique.
Fair.
And so I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed because I play super rare. And but I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I don't know, I'm just surprised they didn't even mention limited or rare as well. Like, not even from a super rare perspective, honestly. Just the fact they didn't really differentiate any of them, or even just mention them.
Yeah, I don't know what they would have said that would have made me like. I don't think there's anything scarcity wise about limited and rare that they would have said. I don't know. If they just said like, "Hey, we know super rare sucks. We're trying. And be like, okay, great. But I don't know. Not that I don't think there's a difference between limited and rare, but I'm just not sure what they could have said specifically about scarcities that.
Well, they could, like, maybe bridges, like between like a pro, what's the bridge between scarcities that there isn't? Like, is there any?
We're bringing back thresholds and rare pro.
Yeah.
Ricardo said, first you seal and then you vaulted seal, sealed vault. You seal your cards in a vault.
In the vault. Yeah.
That's the vernacular.
Yeah.
Did they mention different deadlines for the specific league-only comps, MLS being the prime example? They did not. And I kind of feel like that was part of we're not going to do that.
I think so, yeah. Which again is quite disappointing.
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't. So Mike's asking if I asked a question about super rare, and Scosmo said he just tweeted and didn't actually submit a question. I didn't submit any questions either.
No, neither did I, to be fair. Thousands, a lot of questions though.
Yeah, I mean, there are probably a few users who submitted like 100 of them. And, Josh said, I've got 500 odd quid sat in my account wondering whether to take it out or get it spent. I'm far more inclined to spend it now. I felt good about it.
I get it, but timing wise, it's not really great time. I don't know what league you're on about. Like you're only spending on JOK or MLS really with
Argentina. Actually, they're about to take a huge break. Tom said, words are cheap. I'm not excited or disappointed. I'll wait for the June update when we hopefully get specifics for that. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
But from like a words perspective, this is all we could have probably got outside of the little bits that we've just mentioned there. Like we knew we weren't getting specifics in this really. Yeah, they've already mentioned Club World Cup, Ryan, haven't they? They did a big thing about that already.
Yep. I think their numbers show that super rare sucks, at least in season wise. They already mentioned earlier the in season that it was their best ROI wise. I don't think their numbers show that super rare sucks, at least in season wise. I think they think they're giving away too much money in season super rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's classic is obviously the big issue that everyone actually cares about. We know it, they know it, we know it, in season's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about some utility. Yeah. You can't be buying for the Club World Cup.
No. Yeah, in season is fine for super rare, but classic is ass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Ass is even in the word classic. I just happen to see it there. That's why I said that.
The foosball table is quite close, isn't it, to the couch?
Very close.
What are you guessing? How many centimeters or inches between couch and, if any?
It almost looks like it's touching it.
Wow.
I don't think
No, there's a separation.
Do you think you could walk between it?
No,
Yeah,
no,
no chance, right?
no. Unless you're built like Peter Crouch.
I felt like this couch was very, like, I can't tell if it's comfortable or not. Like, it looks kind of stiff, but then there's like, oh, somebody's been sitting here.
Stiff and slippery, I would describe that as. I don't know. It just seems like you couldn't really get your grip.
Yeah, like if you lean back a little bit, you just slide right down.
Mm.
Especially with these football shirts, like
Yeah.
those things aren't the grippiest.
Yeah, because they don't. It doesn't look like a very tall back either, does it? On
No.
of the couch, it's really small.
No, Dan's pretty tall.
Dan
but,
is
like,
quite
this
tall. Yeah, Dan's
he's
tall.
he's a little Peter Crouchy.
He is quite Peter Crouch. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like a mini Peter Crouch.
Yeah. But like it's mid back is the couch just ends.
Yeah.
Nico's not terribly tall, and he's like well over the top.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell the differences there, would you? At all, really? Like height-wise.
Yeah, I can't remember if Nico was taller than me or not.
I've never met Nico. Yeah, Dan's big. Dan's a tall guy.
Oh God! Picture, yeah.
With Nico, with the ghost.
Sure. Wow. Let me see if I can find it.
Nico the goat. Now we know whose shirt you got, Harry Potter.
What was that one?
I stole Dan's shirt.
Oh. Oh, Dan is surprisingly good at football, huh?
He is. He's a good player.
Interesting.
He's a very good player.
Here we go. Hold on. So this picture, he looks taller than me, but I don't think he is. Now that I've, is that the one? Yeah, hold on.
Ah, yeah, that day. He looks lanky there, doesn't he, Nico? Like
he's not
skinny.
like a big guy, yeah.
No. Yeah, I think the angle's favoring him. I'm not having him as taller than you.
I think I'm leaning a little bit too.
You're leaning down. Yeah, he's leaning over. Is he on the pitch there, or is he literally standing where you guys are, like you are?
There was like a little gate that we're on the same side of the gate. Julio Rodriguez is not.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think yeah, I don't think there's a level playing field there. Contrabas asked what size. This is a large shirt.
True to size?
I don't know. I can't watch. Like this is a medium, and this is yeah. I don't know. I'd say it's a little bit tight for a large. It's not that big. I don't know. But it's got like those elasticy sleeves and stuff, so it fits okay. Photoshop, they reckon.
Oh, maybe Nico's pulling a little Ronaldo.
Yeah, a little right tippy toe. I was thinking a little bit of that one where it's. What shoes was he wearing? That's the big telltale.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
you put those. What are those things called? Nellis did a video about them with Peter Crouch, actually.
I don't know.
There's these like inserts that you can put in your shoe that can make you up to 3 inches taller.
Wow.
Oh, what are those called?
Insole. Oh yeah, yeah. We call them insoles, but
yeah. But like I was thinking of what the brand was.
Okay.
That's what they are, though.
Saying that Laird could not be admitting to tiptoes. That's fair. We don't know.
That's a good point.
We do not know.
I thought I had another picture from Yankee Stadium. I don't think Nico was there. I think somebody else took the picture, and I don't think I ever got it. I went there like with Sorare. Yeah. There were a couple like media guys. It was a baseball game, a couple media guys there who I didn't know.
Okay. BR4, is that a European large? Yeah, I reckon it probably is a European large BR4, I'd have to say.
So we think a European large is a US medium?
I think so, yeah.
BR4, one of St. Pauli's shirt. I'm a double XL, but got a medium.
What?
That's
a
tough.
big. Contract? Oh, is it like I was going to say like it, I thought you meant like it fitted him and stuff because like that's a big disparity
Big
between
difference. Yeah.
like I get one size, but Jesus, how a double XL is a medium in a different country.
The two Midtjylland shirts I have, one's a large and one's a small, and they're both like autographed jerseys. And I want to frame them, and it looks like a child, like
Yeah,
a
the small must be
father-son.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ledito and Ledino.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't say much about expanding, speaking of like jerseys and stuff, like expanding on like special events like Anfield and that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that comes down to similar to the super stuff. Maybe a lack of just questions. I can't imagine many people asked that. Maybe
True.
some did, but yeah, you're right.
When can I fly with Milan again?
Yeah, for the third time. Yeah, that definitely is something that if it was asked a lot, yeah, I'd be disappointed if they didn't like or just ignored it type of thing. Yeah, they've definitely like lessened those things, haven't they? Like it just seems like they're less frequent, which in a way, does that make them more special? Maybe. But there's a balance.
Time, once in a lifetime.
I don't know. It's just I think they must just struggle to get like that relationship. You know, like the Liverpool one was obviously happened twice, I think, and you know, Liverpool one of the first Prem teams on there outside of West Ham, I think, wasn't it? So, you know, I think there was like a longer standing relationship, and just maybe, yeah, maybe with the licenses, the agreements they've got now, like freshly sort of renewed. Obviously, there's less money involved, and so I don't know. Maybe there's just less, exclusivity and there's exclusive once in a lifetime to twice in a lifetime opportunities baked into those things. That's the only thing I can think of really, because you know they've done many of them, and I don't know. I can't see why you'd stop them if you still have access.
Sorry, I was just scrolling through to find like a better picture of the two of them to show us. There we go. Dan thinking hard.
How many times a week do you think Dan sees Nicolas?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I don't think they see each other very often.
Agreed.
You know, like for whatever reason that is, but it just doesn't feel like they see each other very often, even though they've technically been working together for like 5 years.
Yeah. I would guess twice a week.
You think twice a week? Oh, I think that's a lot. I don't think they see each other that much.
When you say like
in person, let's go in person.
Yeah, but like in the office together, and it's just like, you know, Dan's at his desk and he sees Nico walk by. Does that count?
It counts. Yeah, just in the same, like in the presence of each other. Like I don't think Nico. I just get the feeling he's just not around as much. I don't have any evidence for that. I just going off their conversation. I don't know. I don't know. I just get a vibe. I get a weird vibe.
I don't remember like it's good to see you, as if like they hadn't seen each other in a while, but maybe
it was like we might not even be able to say goodbye. Dan said in the thing. Do you see that Dan said something like, I don't know whether we're gonna have time to say bye because like it's going on for so long type of thing. I don't know. I just get a feeling. I'm going twice a month. Yeah. I think Nico's around like once every 2 weeks or something.
What is he doing otherwise?
Just going to Dubai and just doing podcasts, and I don't know.
He has been on the media tour lately.
He has been doing a press tour, hasn't he?
Yeah. You think he came out with a new book or something, and he has to? That's not what I thought you were going to ask. I was thinking, and I thought this during the stream or when I watched the podcast. Do you think Dan wears a football jersey every single day to the office, and do you think every single one of them is from the partner, like from a partner club? Like he's not buying any of these jerseys. He just goes into the closet. Like on Monday, like every day, he just goes to the closet, picks another one out and wears that one the next day. And then just every day he just grabs the next one.
I think there's an element of that that's true. I also think Dan does have a decent collection of like retro jerseys because like he's a big Arsenal fan, and I know
you're right.
I'm pretty sure he has like he has a lot of like the Arsenal retros. I think he was telling me, and no, I think he'd like to bring. I think Dan's the type of guy, if he has the choice between like a licensed shirt that he has in the closet or like, you know, a retro Arsenal one, for example, that isn't licensed or whatever, even though Arsenal is, the shirt's not. I think he picked the Arsenal one. Like, I just think he's a bit.
That's fair.
He's very quirky, Dan. Like, Dan has good dress sense. You know,
Yeah.
like you're in Paris, you've got to show up a little bit. You've got to show that you've got a bit about you when it comes to the fashion scene, and otherwise you either sink or swim in Paris, right? And I think he's swimming, like he is swimming.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
So do you think he had something much more fashionable on, and then he was like, "Oh, I got to do the podcast," and he just grabbed this John Buck jersey out, which, like, the things that you like, the side benefits, if it's even a benefit of playing Sorare, that this video started, and I was like, immediately, I'm like, "Oh, John Buck jersey," and like, there's no reason I should know that so quick.
You should.
I know it says John Buck on it if you really look, but I just
you wouldn't know. Like, yeah, like an average football fan wouldn't know who John Buck are. Never mind what league they're in or anything.
Look at this.
Ooh.
Look at this. Just as we're talking about Dan's dress.
Maybe I hope it's Dan. That'd be cool if it was Dan.
It's
Yeah, I
so
don't know.
these are back-to-back comments.
Yeah.
Sorry. Dan.
Bitch.
Oh. Anyway, sorry.
Now, Dan's the man. Dan's got style. I know he does.
Agreed.
And I'm a bit jealous of the Bled FC jersey. I didn't realize mine didn't have a collar. As in, like, I thought they both were just rounded, but no. Apparently, the J League one is collared. I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah, so the Messi Sorare jersey was collared.
Yeah,
and I remember I was just like, if I had that jersey, that would be the nicest shirt that I owned.
It was
I'd wear it out to
Messi
really nice
one.
dinners and use my referral code to get people to sign up.
What if it was signed though by Messi? You'd have to wear it. Come on.
Yeah, I'd have to wear it.
I mean, you'd have to. Like, it's signed, but like, the stigma around wearing a signed jersey is a bit. But like, if it's Messi, like, you're wearing that.
No, I'm framing that. I thought you were gonna say it was signed by Dan.
Oh.
Like, probably
Dan and Messi. Yeah.
Dan, oh, yeah. There you go.
That's the combo.
Yeah. So if whoever from Sorare here, if you could just let us know, how close this foosball table is to the couch, because you don't have to stand. It actually, do you think it touches the wall too? I mean, surely not, but like,
I wouldn't think so. Because how are you? Well, I guess you could play it without.
Yeah, you play.
Yeah,
you play
on sides, but like, you do need to get the ball, don't you, from under the goal? Technically.
Oh, you're right.
You'd have to have like a little scoop.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think there's a bit of room. It looks like there's a bit of room between the wall and the back end of the foosball table.
Do you think it might be just equal?
Do you think they moved the couch for this shoot?
So Wesley asked that. That's a great question.
I think they moved it.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think this room is?
I don't know, because you can see like a little white like stool or something in the top right, or just on Nico's eye line to the left of him. I
think,
don't know. Is that
here? Oh wait, you can't see my
I
mouth,
can't see
really.
it.
I think that's through the window. No.
Yes. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's through something. Is that connect? Like, is that the same building? If that makes sense, it's got to be, right?
Service said some tables have a middle panel ball return.
Clever. I don't think that technology's reached France though. They're in the stone ages of the foosball.
Harsh.
Joking. Simo says the casting couch, maybe.
Oh boy. I think we scared Dan off. It might not have been Dan. You never know.
Yeah, true.
We got so much out of this video. Now we're trying to analyze where this foosball table is, but Tolga, thank you, Tolga. The couch is always there. 2 couches can fit. Wow. Didn't they in the first in the podcast with Guy and Erwan with Dan, was Dan in a chair and Guy and Erwan were on a couch? I say this, we're literally looking at YouTube.
Yeah, those two were on a couch for sure. I can't remember what Dan was on.
Here we go. Yeah, so there's the couch.
That's the couch. Is
Hi,
that the
everyone.
one piece?
Welcome.
Hold on. And,
Yeah.
oh, that is another couch. Oh no, it is a chair. Dan's in a chair. That's a
Right,
big
but
chair.
yeah, it matches the couch though, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think market value right now of the both pieces?
Like new?
No, yeah, new. Go on,
New?
go new.
I bet the I bet the couch is I'm gonna go with the assumption. Oh, actually, the cushion looks less. I think the couch is 10,000 euros.
Wow.
Yeah,
Couches are expensive.
they are, I know, and I bet the
Yeah.
chair is like 6,000.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with it. They're very unique and very, I don't know. They seem like they have a lot of history attached to them.
Oh, so I just noticed
Go on.
the table, the foosball table's turned here. And is this the ball return on the side?
Yeah, it might. Yeah, it must be. Wow. And that is the same like corner. You know that chair is in the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the couch is in the same place. Has the basketballs? Or...
Nico's 1.78. I don't know
What's
how tall
that?
that is. What is that? That seems wrong.
In feet, 5'9", 5'8".
Oh yeah. So we're the same
Yeah.
height.
Yeah.
One of us stands on our toes. Just Heat said, just getting here sounds like the AMA went well based on this conversation.
It actually went really well.
So it honestly did.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning though.
Like it genuinely did go really well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the couch seems really high.
I agree. There is definitely an imbalance there.
There's a lot of there's like a
There's like a few layers to it.
yeah. Do you think it's a pullout for those long
Ooh.
nights at the Sorare office and you can like sleep the night there?
Do we think anyone slept overnight in the offices just because there's so much work to do?
They're a startup. Surely somebody has slept there before.
Mm. Yeah, fair. Yeah. The basketballs, did they, or whatever those balls are on the back?
Yeah.
Those weren't there in the new one, or am I just bugging out?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, they were? Okay.
Yeah, they were behind Nico.
Yeah.
There's like
yeah,
there's
they're
the other
creeping
angle
in.
where they look at him. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, yeah. Oh,
There
yeah, there they are.
Got you. Okay. I do like the 3 different camera angles though. Fair play. That's really nice. Nicely done. Like the singles and then obviously the wide. GG's.
Our Frenchmen, like the guys in the US who say they're 5'8", but they're really 5'6". Oh, that's low blow. I lie and say I'm 5'9". That's how pathetic it is.
With shoes on.
Good question. Are the balls in the same order?
Wow.
I'm not gonna.
I love how like random and specific we get on like the most stupid trivial things.
Do you think anybody takes them off ever so often?
Do you think they're are they actual basketballs?
Sure.
Like they have bounce to them, or do you think they're like bowling balls?
And
they just
I mean, they've probably been there for like 3 years. So yeah, the air is probably light.
True.
I don't think anybody's going in and like inflating them. But like, I'm the kind of person that if I was in that room and it looks like it's some sort of activity room, I would take one out and just like sit down.
Yeah. Be hard not to. Well, in fairness, I'm just seeing that the Sorare logo on the pink one is actually facing towards the ground, whereas the black and the blue are very much facing towards the wall. So somebody's been tinkering.
You're not wrong.
You know?
Contrabass thinks they're signed.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Little Wemby sign or something.
I would actually. Oh wait, hold on.
They're not signed balls. We've had confirmation led by Sorare.
I was going to say I don't think they are signed. This pink one looks like it has like a little bit of a. Doesn't it kind of look like it's?
Yeah, like weirdly shaped, right? Like,
and that's what happens when they deflate a little bit.
Oh,
it's not quite as round. Can somebody at the office just make sure that there's enough?
Can you tell us the PSI of the
Yeah.
the basketball, please? They're not signed, but they are basketballs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like a fun room. Foosball, basketballs.
Do you think that so when I went to the New York office 2 or 3 years ago, I think they had a PlayStation and an Xbox. So I went, they actually did a really nice like gathering it was for a Yankee game late in the season, and they invited a bunch of people to the office, and my son came with me, and we like walked in, and nobody was playing it, but there was like a couch with a TV, and he was like, the Xbox and PlayStation were there. And, they had a bunch of hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and somebody was like, hey, to my son, they were like, hey, do you want to play FIFA or something? And he was like, really? They're like, yeah, just go like set up. And he just had a blast. It was great.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's say.
Are we getting to the stage of questioning Nico's presence, or is it Photoshop / AI like the Kate Middleton photos?
That's amazing.
Yeah. How many fingers does he have? Do you think Nico wore that jersey all day? Or do you think they stopped and he took it off immediately?
I think he put it on for this, but I think he keeps it on for the rest of the day.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. Time of day. When do you think this was filmed?
It seems sunny.
Well, Dan said something like, yeah, we might not have you for a lot longer, so maybe Nico was busy after this. So that tells me that either he's working through the night.
I mean, he's the CEO. He should be busy, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, he can be busy, but is he busy in the office? Is he busy out?
Nico's wearing this jersey every
Wow. It is a great jersey, so I can't really fault him, to be honest. So GG's, Nico.
Tolkien said he wore it today. So he's in the office today. There we go. That's 2 times, unless Dan's not in the office.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody else is doing this so rare on YouTube.
He loves this jersey. Yeah, this jersey's insane.
I love that jersey, especially the blue. Yeah, I love that jersey. If you guys are looking for anybody else to send jerseys to, you can, you get in the DMs and I'll send you. You have my address.
The blues and the blue and pinks, beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
Although I do like the kind of the tigery theme of the K-League stuff like that. There's something to that, but I also really like the colorway of the J League. Yeah,
they're cool.
Nico's a pastel guy.
Get in, let's go.
Wow,
let's go.
Wow, just back yourself a little jersey. See, all you got to do is ask these days.
It's a good point. Yeah,
if you don't ask, you don't get. Like, you just, how are they supposed to know you want one, Laird? Like,
imagine if we hadn't talked about this.
I know. See, this is the thing. Out of the trivial, stupid things that we get onto, they do lead to some sort of yellow brick road, and the road was Laird's going to get.
Most importantly, hopefully I end up with one of these jerseys. Quick Harry, ask for a ball. I don't think we're like taking stuff out of the office.
Yeah, no. See if Sorare like my little my Jesse Lingard.
Where did that come from again?
Sorare.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think it came from the French offices.
Sorare meeting room AMA. They did that once, didn't they? Like a video of like a behind the scenes of the office, or maybe it was just when they had the PK. I remember the PK stuff.
Ooh, yeah, with the goals and stuff.
Mini field in it.
Yeah.
I would love a video of just more of this room. Like, how much space is behind the camera?
Like, what's the dimensions?
God, I have so many questions.
How many people are doing the camera? There's got to be one person on. 2 on the cameras?
I think there's 2 on the cameras. One who's making sure the audio is still good. It might be 3 cameras. Like, we thought there were 3 cameras. You think it's 1 person per camera?
No, I think it's 3 cameras, 2 people, personally.
3 cameras, 2 people. So one does the cameras and one does the audio? Like, someone's got to make sure the audio is working.
Yeah, but you don't have to continuously do that, do you? I don't know. Maybe you do. Like, I don't know.
Walking AMA through the office. Now we're talking.
Live streamed as well. We won We want like IRL office content. I think that's what we actually want as consumers and players of this game.
Absolutely. So Ryan said, "Do they have a sound guy
Ooh.
holding the fuzzy microphone thingy?" Which, like, honest to God, Ryan, I'm watching this video and I'm like, "Where are the microphones?" And there is one point with Dan where you can see the mic, and I'm sure, I have a feeling somebody is like, who did this is not going to be. It's the other Dan angle. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Oh,
I didn't even think of that, you know?
where is it? I feel like they've like scrubbed it. Hold on. Where did I? It was the single Dan view. No, we'll let Nico finish talking here. Hold on. I just muted it.
It must be like a black microphone, no? Like on Nico or no?
So there is a. Hold on. Come on. I feel like I see it in this.
Oh.
It's like right. I feel like it's gonna. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Unless that was just
watch.
But if you can see in this, I can't really see it. Hold on. We just want Dan. There it is. All right. You can see it in the bottom. It's the left.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they've got like big microphones.
Yeah, so just like in front of
screen.
him. I assume there's one in front.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm like, that's really far away from the mic.
Because I thought they'd hide. It'd be good, like if the little micro ones, you could hide it on Nico's like black bit here.
Yeah.
Like that'd be perfect, right? Obviously, Dan's
Like
wearing
looking
greens.
at Dan, and I'm like, he doesn't have a mic anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then, yeah, so not fuzzy, I'm disappointed.
I don't think it's a massive room. It's got like a glass door panel on the.
It's
on
both
the left.
sides, though. There's one behind Nico, and then there's another one behind Dan, I think.
But I don't know. Behind Nico tells me, like, I think you can look out there and see the view of Paris. I think to the left of Nico, or Dan's right, or I guess it's Dan's left as well. If you want to look at where we're looking at it from,
Yeah,
I feel like that's like just further on into the office.
Yeah, this goes in. Hold on, like this area goes into the office,
right? But what about to Dan's like?
And then, like this way?
Yeah, that way. There's glass panels.
I think it's both looking into the office, and then to Nico's left is the outside.
Got
like
you. Yeah. That's where I'm at. Yeah. It's Paris, of course. It's not a big room.
Mike said he's going to bring his girlfriend to the office when he's in Paris. Love it.
It must be good news today if we are picking on the mic placement. It was amazing news. That's the thing.
It was what it was, but like,
yeah, but like there was nothing negative about any of it really, other than
great.
like
Paris,
I said.
of course, it's not a big room. As an American, I just assume there are zero big rooms.
That's true, actually.
Forget updated rewards. I just want to see what the office looks like. That's kind of where I am right now.
Same. I'm just ready for June. Genuinely, I'm ready for June. I'm ready for the updates and stuff. But honestly, I genuinely think like it's the most tapped in Sorare have been. I think to what we want or would like or just have issues with. I genuinely do. Like I've never felt so like connected genuinely to them as people behind the game
because of this AMA.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah.
So that was sort of my whole point, was like they have known about this stuff always. Like
right.
It's not like we're all just like speaking about Sorare positively or negatively and they don't hear it. Like it gets to them and they know that classic competitions people were frustrated about and all different things, late swap, and they talk to users all the time. I'm sure they have people who are listening, who pay attention to content. And I think genuinely the biggest thing to get out of this AMA was like, hey, tell us what is bothering you, or tell us what you have concerns about, and we'll let you know that we heard you. That's all.
I mean, we're not asking them to fix miracles. Like, we I mean, I think the majority of us that have been around for a while, we understand the constraints and we understand that like not everything is fixable to the degree or to the degree that everyone would like, or certain people would like. There's obviously constraints to every idea and every facet to the game or of the game. Sorry. So but the fact that at least they're just acknowledging everything outside of maybe scarcities and super rares right now. Maybe we know they know about it. They just didn't mention it in the AMA, which is fine. I genuinely can't really see a problem with anything really that if they're doing things like this, it can only help. Like it can. We remember at the time where like radio silence would kill us, wouldn't it? As consumers of the game, because we're like, you're just chewing it over and you don't know what they think. But at least with things like this, it depends on how frequent they do them, obviously. But doing this before a big announcement, it can only do well, I think. Because if they didn't do anything for like 2 or 3 months, wow, like just as a community, like I think we'd be losing our minds, to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing to myself here. Kennedy just came in. I didn't see any of the AMA. Can we get a few bullet points on the big news? And the first one is the foosball table. Very close to the couch.
That's killed me. No, that's killed me. No. That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
That is insane. That's killed me. Honestly.
There's a behind Dan now. You can see a little more. You got some smaller chairs.
Oh, yeah.
And a view more into the office. Back, whatever is back here.
I can see a plant. Can we identify the origin?
Surely some sort of oxygen-producing, carbon dioxide-eating plant that is good for
What was
everyone.
the one that Gator showed us? Is it one of them?
It doesn't look...
Gator's trying to sell us on a plant, isn't he, right now?
Yeah, he's trying to sell us. He's getting into ferns, and he wants us to...
He's got an affiliate code and everything.
Nobody finds that funny other than us because we're into the conversation. But man,
amazing.
That's good. Anyway,
Kennedy, there is some good things. We went through like first 45 minutes of this was basically us bullet pointing, everything that I made notes on. Laird didn't, just to make that clear. Now there was some really interesting stuff mentioned in it. So if you want to scroll back, then I'm sure you'll gain a bit of insight.
Yeah, we spent about 45 minutes on this 40-minute AMA. So there you go. Can we all agree the walls could do with some color? Probably. I feel like it's all very similar shades. The furniture, the foosball table.
Nobody's mentioned the picture, Laird. We can see 1/4 maybe of the picture.
Hold on.
I see number 21. Kennedy can vividly describe the room. What is that picture? I can see the number 21.
Yep. I think this is
always
11.
White and blue. There's like a Spanish flag resemblance on the left, like
a little bit.
The red.
Surely it's got to be like a French national team, though, right? White and blue.
Is it? They've never wore a kit like that, unless it's like
looks like an old picture. This guy's got the flowing locks here. Looks a little.
Oh, maybe they did.
Marseille, because it's Nico's team.
Oh yes,
I like that.
It's very Real Madrid-y, though. I will agree with Moscow there. Madrid had like that colorway. I remember for a few years.
Should paint the walls blue to remind them that Super Rare exists.
I mean, they have a blue basketball. They clearly know it exists.
Real Madrid had basketball too. It's all coming together.
True. Yeah.
Apparently, all walls in Paris are this color. Every single wall.
They have one like color of paint there.
Oh. I assume the getting warmer was on
Champions League, Mikey said, yeah. Huh. Look at us, football sleuths.
Seems like a very big wall and a very small picture.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a huge picture. Wall does seem
from the guy who literally taped pieces of paper to his wall. This is why we need more office content.
I know. I like this, like dissecting the Sorare offices.
Remember when they did that? Was that initially for Rivals, where they had that like crack the crypto code to get, and they were like,
"Oh yeah, remember that?"
Yeah, they should just do that.
What was the code? Can you remember?
I don't know.
It got leaked. Like we knew it before, like the last clue or something. I'm sure.
Oh, Real Madrid players.
It is
GG's,
Madrid.
whoever said
Wow.
that.
Yeah. I said the Spanish thing. I
Is
should
that
have
Bale?
doubled down. It could be
11?
because that was. I'm pretty sure he played in that, like, that's around that time when they had the like the. Oh, no,
Coaching,
it couldn't be coaching.
maybe.
Ooh, yeah, it could be Bale, couldn't it?
Looks like a little bit of a popped collar.
Modric on the
Could be.
left. It could be right next to the Spanish logo with his luscious
Here,
locks.
Modric. I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore. Hold on.
Who was 21? I'm going to say like Arbeloa or something. Number 21. It looks like Arbeloa, but
Someone said, "Is that the Champions League team? Haven't they won the
yeah, they win it every.
Mayoral?" They said above. Yeah, maybe.
Ooh, Borja.
Yeah, big wall, little picture. It actually seems pretty high up on the wall.
I don't know, because if you were playing foosball, no, I think you'd be in line with it. Like your head would be sort of.
Yeah, that's fair. It
Yeah,
just seems way too small for that wall. But I'm not an interior decorator.
No, neither am
Not
I.
my expertise.
I do like a game of foosball though.
Just a quick thing. I noticed a lot of people are watching us and not a lot of people have liked the stream. And I mean, we've covered a lot of stuff today, including some excellent sleuthing that I think we deserve more likes than we've gotten. So if you could please like the video, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah. Someone did say it. Someone mentioned it earlier in the stream. I will give them credit. I don't know who it was. If I'm being honest, it was really, really high up earlier on. But someone said, you need to like the stream.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was mentioned. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to whoever that was.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Baston's always good on that.
He is. Honestly, I don't think it was Mike, but Mike is normally.
I don't think it was Mike either.
Yeah. It is Madrid, Sorare confirmed. Wow. Yeah, the Spanishy thing, I should have doubled down.
So, new content idea for whoever from Sorare is here, that every week you just show us a picture from the office and we just can talk about it and ask questions. You can just be here in the live chat. You don't even have to come on camera.
Every Tuesday. Let's make it a thing.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's out of hours right now for whoever's.
It's a good point. Well,
Sorare.
yeah.
You know, this is what, 7 o'clock? 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
It is Borja Maria.
Wow. You know what? The rewards are coming out. Somebody's got to be there. Make sure that they get out.
I reckon Nico's there. He clicks the big red button.
He picks the big red.
Yeah. He's got to be.
Could you imagine if that's really how it worked?
That would be amazing.
Like
it must have worked like that at some point, no?
No, but I mean, if they literally set it up that there was like a big red button somewhere, and then there's just
big
like
reward button.
rewards are out, all the money gets sent.
That'd be amazing.
Fraxy said, "Give us 2 pictures of a room and find 5 differences." Yes,
that's incredible.
Imagine the Sorare kitchen Friday stream cooking with Laird special. Simo's been to the office.
Wow, it's all coming out. I do have a question. Does Dan bring a packed lunch? Come on, it's a good question.
How would you feel if you found out Nico did that for the 2 days he's in a month?
Yeah. I kind of like it. He's prepping. He's meal prepping.
Yeah.
I don't think that can be taken as a negative, to be honest. Taking a packed lunch.
No, I have big respect for meal prep.
Yeah, like there's a lot that goes into that. Now, yeah, I think Nico's more of a prepper than Dan would be.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know whether Nico has children, but I know Dan does definitely have a child at this point. I don't know if it's 2, but either or. I just don't know if that's happening in the Dan household right now. I think there's, bigger fish to fry.
Brown paper bag.
I think Nico's a prepper.
Surely at some point, Sorare was the startup that like they got lunch for everybody every day, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like if you worked there and they were like, "Hey, we just raised $680 million," you'd be like, "So you're paying for lunch now, right?" Like,
right? Yeah,
you bring it in every day.
I think because Dan like knows the city very well. Like Dan's taken me around Paris when we went for that five-a-side tournament. Like Dan knew all the places, and this was at nighttime though. But even in the daytime, I think Dan would know where the best lunch spots are. So I think Dan's the guy who like says, right, we're all going to X, Y, and Z today, you know, and we're all going to go have lunch there. I think Nico stays in the office, warms up his chicken and rice,
making sure he gets all his macros. Yeah.
Yeah, it clicks the big red button. I do. I really do.
Do you think he has a standing desk, or does he sit on like one of those like stability balls? Have you ever seen people do that?
No, that's a bit. No, I don't.
Oh
know
yeah,
about
that was like a big U.S. office thing.
So like just like a medicine ball,
but like the big light, like the light ones that like some
with
people
no back to them, obviously, right?
What's that? No.
Yeah, just you literally just sit.
Literally just a ball.
Right. Yeah. I've never really seen people do that. Even when I worked in an office, actually in the US, nobody was funky enough to do that. But
let me see if I can. They do have some with.
Can't be good for your back though, Laird, can it?
Wow, they apparently have them with backs now.
Wow.
Hold on.
Where have we been?
Honestly, where have we been? Yeah, hold on. Amazon's got them, of course.
Well, of course, yeah.
Like, but I know a bunch of people don't like just like
that. So it's a ball on wheels. That is hilarious, by the way.
With a back, apparently.
Yeah, with the back, I can see it.
But I've seen people without the wheels and without a back. I mean, how do you even use the back? You're like sitting at the bottom.
Yeah,
like
you wouldn't even get to it, would you?
Down. Yeah, you'd fall right back.
Right. I can't see how the ball's big enough for you to be on the desk. Like surely the ball, you know, without the wheels means you're way lower.
A little bit.
Yeah, so unless your desk comes down with you, surely that doesn't work.
Nico's always in the office.
That's giving us confidence. I love that. Sorry, I downplayed his presence. Nico's the man.
Let's go buy some cards.
Yeah, well, we've got rewards in 2 minutes left.
Well, yeah.
Did you? I know you won cash, didn't you? Did you win any cards?
I don't think I did. Let me see.
And we know you're hoarding your essence, so
I spent some in the arena.
You did spend some in the arena. Did you return any from the arena?
I lit my rare essence on fire.
Amazing.
And I turned 20 limited essence into 40.
Wow. That's a good return on the limited.
Finished second and third.
Huh. Was there any things for you? Goldens?
I was in a golden and I finished 8th with a DNP.
Oh, okay.
That one didn't help. Let me see. Am I winning any? I'm winning a tier 3 rare and a tier 4 limited.
Oh, wow. Where's the tier 3 rare from?
That's a good question. It is from Contender.
Okay. Standing and seating desks with the team all together. I love that. Do you all eat lunch together is the big question, though.
What's that?
Like, do they all eat lunch together? Like, is there a lunchroom or is everyone just at their desk? Like, how do you think that works?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Andreas crushed it. Returned 265 from 70.
Yeah, the breast boys.
That's what happens when you buy 7 players.
Yep. Andreas cracked it.
Turned both my 20 rare and limited into 40. There we go.
GG's.
Illegal to eat at your desk.
Don't tell me that's real, Tolga. Are you serious?
I would guess it's. I would believe that.
What?
Well, because it basically ensures that people get their lunch break.
Right. Okay.
I'm checking public records to see if anybody's been arrested for that.
Well, they have a 2-hour lunch. I'm
This is
moving to
actually,
France.
that's actually 14 hours, by the way. 12 a.m. to
Oh
2.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, 12 to 2. That's surely people are working during that time.
Yeah,
Like, you're
2 hour lunch.
discussing work.
I mean, I'm jealous, but
Let's open rewards with Sorare people here.
let's do it.
At least I'll do it. You need to. I'm sure you're having a
I
video.
don't have too much to do, to be honest, but I've got a bit of crafting to do, actually. Yeah, I do have.
Look at
No
big
alcohol.
James Garner getting me promoted.
I love James Garner. They don't have alcohol in the office, which I understand. I think that's a good
that's
rule.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Boysenberry. Peach.
Your boy getting relegated.
He scored really well. Did you see?
He did.
He scored 26 AA.
This is so a little feedback from Sorare that using the highest scoring player from a relegated side is really unfair to the guy.
It is, isn't it? Because then you have that imprinted, facial recognition of him, and then next week you're less inclined to use him, and he might do really well.
That guy got me relegated, but in fairness, he actually probably did the most work. Anyway, just some feedback. Do you think? Look at this leveling up. Do you think that
2 BCMs, by the way?
Yeah, well aware. He should have been on my relegate, or whether he got relegated or not.
Wow, you're on the 3rd now, are you?
I am competing for the 3rd.
Yes, okay. I'm
It's
competing
the
for the
last week.
2nd.
Like, if I don't get it this weekend, I'm dead for the competition.
Oh, of course, yeah. We're all on our last legs now, aren't we?
Do you think that this makes a sound? Like, do you hear a sound in your head when you go through that? Like,
there should be a sound, like a zoom in sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tier
3 is definitely a K-League or J-League. Wow,
I got 150.
Did you get bumped up?
Did I? I guess so. I thought I was winning. I don't even know where I got it. We can go back in a second.
So we have 2 hours, but we don't take 2 hours to eat. You can manage your time. That's incredible, though. 2 hours lunch?
It's humane, man. We all should be doing that.
I guess, yeah. We're just animals in the US.
We completely.
Like
so I don't know where this was from. I should have looked, but it's apparently from a special something, probably just All-Star. What are the odds we've heard of this player?
Very low.
Oh.
Eric Miller.
I can say I've heard of Eric Miller.
And you have a collection of the Portland book. Well, you have with DaCosta, I know that.
He's the only one. That's a free 1%.
Yep. Those are
heading into the next streak. Let's go. Let me go buy a whole collection. We'll be right back. All right. Tier 3 rare from Contender.
J-League.
I think it's Argentina.
Wow. Oh. Wow. So good they named him twice.
Simone,
yeah.
19.
Yeah, he could. I mean, it looked like he played in the last 5, so I don't know whether that was he's been benched or he came in because the other guy was ill / injured / benched. But that's not bad. Albania as well, Ed.
Is it not bad? A tier 3?
I mean, the fact that he's played, I've won young goalkeeper, like the Stuttgart guy, I've won him twice now, and he's like highly rated, but I don't think he's played all season. And he was a tier 2 and maybe even a tier 1. Tough paper round in Albania, lads. Oh no, Simon the first.
Anyway, let's open 50 Essence.
Wow.
Can we do that?
2% better than 1%.
Come on, Sorare's here.
Come on. Bottom of the barrel. What are you on now? Okay. 106 away from your tier 2 plus. Oh. I'm on 17 and I'm winning 6 today, Laird. So I'll be crafting a super run.
Oh. Let's see where this guy played. Simony.
Yeah, what was the Who did he play for? Kaiserslautern? No, he played. Oh. I mean, like that smells like to me that he's going to play at some point in the next year or so. Wonder if he's on loan or something, because that's like a weird. I don't know. It just.
I'm not going to do any research on him, and I will do it when I eventually get an offer for him, because he's
great name. Here we go. Simon Simeone. Oh, he is on loan. Laird, I'm telling you, happens. On loan from Frankfurt.
Well, definitely never played there. So
until June 26th, though. So that tells me it was either like a 2-year loan. No? Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon that was a 2-year
Why
loan.
would they loan him to not play?
Right. So, okay, so he was playing in the 3rd division in 2024. And now obviously, moved to Kaiserslautern in January 25 he moved there. No, January 2025. Oh, so he hasn't even been there that long. He's been there since Jan. So he's basically going to be there for a year and a half, that tells me. Or would have been.
How do I find this?
6'1" Albanian, 400,000 market value. He's like a good goalie.
How do I find this? What's his team?
Kaiserslautern. He plays with
why can't I search
my left back.
Yeah. I thought, hey, maybe I have somebody else, but I don't.
Go and get yourself a little Florian Klein hand.
I was just about to say, I've got a Klein hand unlimited.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was fun. Somebody just brought this up. Luis, thank you. Don't know if you touched on it, but Harry should have loved that they talked about the scouting youngsters aspect. We did gloss right over that.
We did, yeah. I do recall. I don't exactly remember what they said, but they did say something about we've lost the touch of that or something, wasn't it? Or we want to bring that back or something along the lines of that. So yeah, that's encouraging, I guess. Well, definitely.
That was it, though. They're just like, yeah, you used to be able to scout youngsters. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, they didn't the word under 23 wasn't mentioned, was it, for the whole thing? I could be wrong, but I don't think it was.
Apparently, he's been on the bench for the Albanian national team.
Oh,
don't they have a good goalie?
Is Muric Albanian? No, he's from Kosovo.
Kosovo, yeah. Hold on.
The Albanian keeper is.
It's definitely someone that we know.
It's not Savic, is it? He's Serbian.
Strakosha. That's who it is.
Yeah, it is Strakosha. Yeah, he's not exactly old as well, which is annoying. 30. Yeah, unless he starts playing, but then I guess Strakosha plays for Athens now, so yeah, he doesn't really play, actually. He's got a chance if he starts playing.
I mean, everybody's got a chance if they start playing.
Well,
there.
But Thomas, there's worse rewards. He's not, 20 as well. It's not as if he's 24, like aging out type of thing. But
what is that, 2027? 2029?
Ages, yeah. He's a young one.
So it's funny, I didn't tell you this, but I was looking to buy Yamal the other day.
Wow.
And then I saw how much it was, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But I was like, if I bought Yamal, and I was like, I kind of wanted Jude also. And I was like, should I just run like the stupid, like super U23?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have a goalie, so I'm going to have to find a goalie, but maybe I just found it.
Maybe you've just walked yourself into a little under 23 keeper.
Yeah. Anyway. You got anything else? You got a video to record?
Yeah, I got a little video to record. No, honestly, I'm excited. Genuinely, I've got good vibes and good energy from that. So I'm excited.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And I will say that if Sorare ever want to increase the vibes, just a little more panning of the office. That's all we.
And the fact that we went off cue, I think shows how positive we are. Because if we weren't, we'd have just kept bashing. We would have just bashed.
Yeah,
the whole
we would have
thing.
finished.
Do you know what I'm saying?
An hour ago and just been like, well, good. It was nice knowing you.
Right. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I think that was a credit to how positive it was, I think, and what we actually just learned from it.
I know they can't do this all the time, and I'm not asking them to do it in my own streams, but Sorare commenting in the live chat, I think would make anybody who live streams, it's a big plus.
Oh, so for sure.
If you guys want to keep that up, go right.
Yeah, because I know Paul used to do it.
I'm not saying you got to do it here. There are plenty of other people who live stream, but you see how everybody got all excited?
Yes, it's a fun. It's definitely.
Thank you, Tolga, also for coming in.
No negatives for sure. Paul used to do it a lot. Maybe Paul's behind the Sorare one, but Paul used to jump in when I won my Yamal. I remember, or the night before I won Yamal, I remember Paul being in the disc, in the chat then. But yeah,
was he in the chat like, you're gonna really want to open that one tomorrow?
I can't remember what he said. We were speaking about prize pools and stuff, but but no, I appreciate them, and that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. If you really enjoy the content and would like to support it further, patreon.com/AndrewMLaird. That helps support me. The easy way to support Harry, go to his channel, Harry Trades on YouTube. Become a member there. I'm one. Everyone should do it. So yeah, Harry, good to see you. Everybody else, thank you so much for coming. And if you didn't watch the AMA and you just watched us, you should probably watch the AMA too, get your own opinions. But thanks for coming. And now it's time to go outside.